and welcome back to the FreeFormKnits YouTube channel. I'm Haxann Evers, a Knit and Crochet whose FreeFormKnits Crafting has led to the world of design. All the places you can find me will be listed right down below this video. Thank you so much for stopping by and crafting with me today. So we are episode 40 something. I don't know. I never remember. It'll maybe be on the screen because I always forget. So welcome back. I am coming back to you 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks since my last podcast. I don't know, just finding time for things is very hard. We are in the month of February. At the time of filming this, I think it's February 18th? Not even? Oh, it's the 14th. It's the 14th. I don't know the days of the week. It's just been, we've had some rainy days and dreary days and just, I don't know, the weather gets to me more than I think it does. And that actually led to me casting on something that was very bright and cheerful, which made me very happy. And then we did actually, still talking about weather, we did actually have a string of very beautiful days, like very springtime days that just made me so very happy. But now we're back, it snowed, it's all wet outside. So it's all nice, it's all good. But yeah, I like the warmer, bright weather than the cold weather, but that's okay. So one thing I will say, just because I'm in love with it, I did get a haircut and it's super short. I've never had my hair this short and I love it. Yeah, I'm just gonna throw that out there because I'm kind of obsessed with it. It's short, so yeah. If you are a long-time viewer, thank you so much for coming back. And if you are new to the channel, yeah, I'm a rambling mess, but that's okay because we're here to talk about crafts, which are fun. So let's get into finished objects. I do have one finished object and another finished object. Well, actually, how do I describe this? I have technically 3 finished objects. I'm going to count it as 4 finished objects, but I'm only going to talk about one finished object right now and then save the other 2 finished objects near the end for like design talk, upcoming, I don't know. Like I said, rambling mess. But first finished object. I did it. I finished these socks. I love them so much. This is, I've had these socks on the needles for a while. I have the name for the pattern, but I think I'm gonna hold on to the name for a little bit longer, just cause. So these socks are gonna be the first pattern in my upcoming cabled sock collection. Last year I designed a sock collection called the Garter Stitch Sock Collection, a bundle of 3 sock patterns, all using garter stitch and these fun motifs. And I'm using that same idea, but this time with cables. And I'm obsessed. I'm so happy they're done. They were knit out of Knit Stroll Tweed, I always forget that, in the Atlantis Heather colorway. And they are super pretty. And they have my shortcut heel, my hat trick toe, and the cable pattern is gorgeous. So these socks actually are in testing right now. As the time you're watching this, some of my testers have already finished, which is just so cool. I love, it's like the best part of testing. I'm so nervous putting a pattern out for testing because I'm always like, I'm forgetting something, I'm doing something wrong. And then seeing your testers knit up your pattern, there's just something so special about it. And it's so amazing. I'm so grateful to have the testers I have. If you ever want to be a tester for any of my patterns, I actually have an email list linked down below in the description box. How that works is you sign up for the tester list, and then when I am in need of a test, you get an email. And if you're interested in the test, you just follow the instructions in the email. If you are not interested in the test, you can just delete the email. Signing up to the newsletter does not mean you have to agree to every test that comes your way. You can just ignore it, like a lot of emails. I ignore a lot of emails. But yeah, I love this cable pattern. It's so easy and so much fun. Like, I just love it so much. And because of how many purl stitches I have in the sock, that's like a fear of mine when I have like a texture on the front of a sock that it'll like pull on the top of my foot, because I do kind of have a high arch, I guess is the term. But because of how many purl stitches I have, it just bounced out and fits so nicely. It's perfect. I love it so much. So this pair of socks is done, and I do want to show. This is for the Garter Stitch Sock collection. I did the same cuff for all of them, but different body patterns, and I think I'm going to do the same thing for this collection. I'm going to use this same ribbing throughout the socks because I call it like a fake twisted rib. It's so pretty and it is fun to do. For some reason these socks, for some reason, I was so excited to start them, and then I just never had the time and the brain space to work on them, so they felt like they took forever. But the second sock actually flew. Am I lying when I say that? No, the foot of the sock actually flew because I was actually had the time to work on it, and it's just, oh, I love it so much. And I actually did memorize the cable pattern. So I think a lot of patterns, it's daunting to look at the instructions, but it's just, it's easy. It's so easy. I love, this is, again, rambling mess. I love the feeling of accomplishment you get when you've conquered something. Like, this stitch pattern looks daunting, and when you look at the instructions in the chart, it looks daunting, but then you take it a stitch at a time, and it's so easy, and it's so exciting, and I'm so excited to get this collection out to you. So this is the first sock. It's in testing, so you're gonna see the other socks very soon. Very exciting. So that's a finished object. Yay! Alright, the next object, I'm calling it finished. Technically it's not finished. It needs a border. I need to do a border for it, but it's basically finished, and I'm really excited about this. If you follow me on Instagram, I am the Freeform Knitter on Instagram. I should actually share this project in my stories, and I actually have a highlight on my Instagram page talking more in depth about it. I'll try and go in depth here, but you know, like I said, rambling mess. How this started is I've always loved the idea of scrappy blankets, but they kind of overwhelmed me in the sense of planning out colors and making it all look cohesive, though I necessarily don't want it to look cohesive because it's a scrappy project. It's not supposed to, and I don't know. It was this whole thing that I just built up in my head and couldn't quite wrap my head around how to accomplish it. So what inspired me to do this project, Amy Kate of Graceful Tangle, I watch her podcast, I follow her on Instagram. She did an advent calendar this year, and how she used up her minis of the advent calendar. She had 24 minis, and she added a full skein, or a couple full skeins of this contrast color, and she did a corner to corner blanket using one mini a day, and then when she finished the stripe, she would just do a stripe of that solid color to kind of tie all these minis together and just add more yardage and stuff, and she ended up getting a really good sized blanket. Now, she was using finger weight yarn, I believe, and I don't know how much yardage she had in each mini. I assume around 20 to 25. That's usually what mini skeins come in from what I've seen. But it just kind of proved to me that, you know, yarn goes further than we think it does. I mean, I've lost many a game of yarn chicken, but typically yarn does go further than we think it will. And I should just do it. Just do what I want to do. So this kind of came about in a really fortunate way, because my sister, who also knits, she handed me this huge basket. This was the basket she handed me. Here, I set it up in such a way. Hold on. She handed me this whole basket, and it was filled to the top of balls of yarn, of pretty good sized scraps, but just filled. She says, I'm done. Here, take this. She is the kind of knitter, she buys yarn for a project, and when she's done with the project, she doesn't want to see the yarn anymore. She's done. So she was just done with that yarn, so she handed it to me. And I made this blanket I'm about to show you completely out of her scraps, which is kind of cool because now I look at it and like I know what her colors are. So here is the blanket. Can you even? Yeah, this was so much fun to work on, and it was such a bright spot. To break it down for me, I kind of thought to myself, well, you know what, I'll do my own little advent project in February, you know, because it's, like I said earlier, it's such a dreary month typically, and it'll be like my motivation, you know, to get up a little bit early and work on a stripe. I did 10 of these, 10 colors in one day, and then I could have done this whole blanket in 2 days. Like, it just flew. It's worsted weight yarn. I used a 6mm hook, and it was just so addicting to finish a scrap and just get to the next color. It's so much fun. So I kind of organized them in, I'm really bad at like the color wheel. I don't know, like I tried to do lightest to darkest from these light blues into these then reds and then these purples. I tried to do that, and obviously I'm not very good at it because this is clearly lighter than these two. Yeah, but I don't care. I just started and I just went with it. And then there was some like obviously when you get to the widest part of the blanket, you don't get as many stripes, as many rows. So, and it followed what Amy Kate was doing. She wasn't like doing half a row, even though she had leftovers. If she finished a row and she didn't have enough to make it back across, she just cut it. And I did that because I really liked that look. But this is actually, I have to say, this is my first corner to corner blanket. I've never done this construction for crochet. And it was so much fun. So much fun. Literally so much fun. Though I do feel like mine is more of a rectangle. I don't know. I expected it to be kind of like when you knit a dishcloth and how it's a little wonky. It's not a perfect square unless you block it out. But I feel like this is more of a rectangle, and I especially felt like that because I tried to also do what Amy Kate did, was that when she was decreasing the other side, she made sure that her stripes matched. So like her 12th stripe and her 12th stripe and her 13th stripe were the same stripe, same number of rows, you know, so like it was mirror images of each other. That didn't work, partly because I was running out of yarn for the other half, like to make sure the yardages matched up, and partly because I just felt like it wasn't working. I don't know. Like I ended up with this really big strip of purple, which in my planning should have been the tip. It should have been like these should have matched, but they didn't. And I'm not sure if that's because of I might have messed up on my first row of decreasing. I might have not decreased, and that might have changed my stitch counts. I don't know. It was a whole thing. I ended up, the only colors in this blanket that don't belong to my sister are this pink, which I ended up having to use twice, and this was this bluish gray. The gray was all hers. Some of the grays are actually different shades of gray because just what I had, and you know, you're not going to be able to tell because it's just so spread out. I love it so much, and I'm obsessed with Scrappy corner to corner blankets now. I have not woven in any ends, so like I have over 100 ends, literally. They're all hanging off the blanket. Sometimes I had to get creative. I was running out of gray. There's actually a spot I had to repeat a color and finish it with another color, like right here. This, I tried to make it look marled. It's fine. It's totally fine. Yeah, I do love it though. I'm obsessed looking at it. I'm going to do a border. I do have this full skein of gray in my stash, so I'm going to just basically doing the border mostly just so I can crochet over the ends because I don't want to weave in over 100 ends. I mean, I'll crochet over them and kind of tuck them in, I guess, a little bit, but not like a full weave in thing like I would do for a sweater or something. But that's the plan eventually. I'll probably end up doing just single crochet, maybe a row of single crochet, maybe something a little bit fancier on the last. I don't know, but I'm obsessed with it. It's beautiful, and I now want to make one out of my scraps. This is baskets, like all my worsted weight smaller skeins. I kind of want to plan one from my scraps where I don't do this stripe of gray in between, where I just crochet and crochet and crochet, and then I'll have no ends because I'll be knotting them together and stuff. It'll be fun. But I'm really happy with this and proud of it. It's something new. I actually shared this project when I was working on it on my Instagram stories. If you're not following me on Instagram, I am the Freeform Knitter on Instagram. And I shared the project in my stories and actually saved it as a highlight, talking about how I managed my yarn, like how I arranged this basket, because I think that's another thing with scrappy projects a lot of people struggle with. I know I struggle with. It's like, how do I work on it? There's so many little bits of yarn. It gets to be so big. How do I do this? So I kind of came up with this clever way of this one big basket, and then way of separating my yarn with this smaller basket. And then I did have a yarn scale, which I didn't put as much use to as I should have, and might have not ended up with some of those half-finished rows where I had to get creative. But I kind of talk about that in my Instagram stories, and that's a highlight on my profile if you want to check that out. So yeah, super proud of this. Like I said, I just need to do a border. So I only actually have 2 other active whips that I'm working on that I'm trying to get done because I really want them done. Not really trying to get done, I'm really enjoying them and I'm happy to have the finished object when they are done. So the first one's just a sock, and I actually talked about this in my recent yarn haul vlog video that I did a couple of days ago, or weeks ago now. I don't know, time does not exist. But it's this sock I've been working on. It's super pretty. I love how it's striping up. It looks so cool on camera. I'm just using my Delightful Knit sock recipe. It's my DK weight sock recipe. It comes with 5 sizes and 3 different texture options. I'm just doing the vanilla. Also comes with my shortcut heel and DK weight, how to do it, garter, and stockinette. And I did a garter for this. And it's just a really simple vanilla sock. I'm using size, I think I went down. I was using 5s and 6s. I've recently gone down to 3.5s, which are US 4. I'm using my knit picks. I have the, what's it called? The options interchangeable. Is that just a line? I don't know. It's the one with all the different types of wood. This is the rose. Oh, now I'm gonna forget it. Yeah, I'm gonna forget it because I'm looking right at them and can't remember them. But super pretty needles. I love the feel of them. As much as the set is so pretty, and I was really wondering. My only concern was, would I like the wood? Because I love the nickel plated set. That was my first interchangeable set. It's the set I use all the time. And I wasn't sure if I would like the wood, because wood has a tendency, it's a little bit, it's not nickel plated, it's not metal, but it's so pretty. I love it so much. So highly recommend this set. I actually plan to do a review of this set on my channel very soon, so stay tuned for that. And yeah, I just love this sock, just DK weight sock. Baby Bee, Sweet Delight in the Charming colorway. It's a mixture of acrylic and polyamide. Just a perfect sock. Perfect, what's it called? Durability for socks. Yeah, that's it. So just been plugging away on this. The other work in progress is my Effortless Cardigan, which is a pattern by Zabat, I believe. It's a free Lion brand pattern. I'm loving it. I just separated the sleeves last time and have flown through the body, just plugging away at it, and I am on the bottom ribbing. I was debating just going right to the sleeves. That's what I've been doing with my sweaters because they tend to go a little faster, but I was really enjoying the back and forth stockinette, and so I just flew through the body. I'm on the ribbing, and I do have enough of this color. This is Yarn Bee. I don't have the tag again. It's like their soft and sleek prints in this purple gray multi-colorway, and look how it's draping. Isn't that so cool? So I have enough of it I could have done the whole sweater in it, but what I couldn't have done was the collar in it. So I decided to play it safe and use this gray, which is, I love this yarn in the light gray colorway. I thought it was silver beer or something. Light gray. I personally imagined a dark gray for this. I'm gonna use this gray for like the ribbing for the shawl collar, the cuffs, the ribbing. I think there's ribbing on the pockets. So just so I'm 100% certain I have enough, because I don't want to run out like halfway through a sleeve. Yeah, so personally I would have preferred a dark gray, but this is what I had in my stash and thought it made more sense to just use what I had in my stash rather than wait for a chance to get some dark gray. It looks really good, like it matches the yarn really well, so yeah, it's good. And yeah, this is a really great project. It fits great. I talked about last time how I think I messed up my increases and ended up getting, it fits, but I went about it in a strange way. Yeah, that was weird. But it's perfect. Just chucking away on this. Got ribbing to do. Yeah, and then I'll have to, I think I'll do the collar first because I'm really excited for the collar. And then that will give me, I mean, this is like a 200 gram skein yarn, so I'm not going to run out of yarn just on ribbing. But yeah, that's my only other work in progress at the moment. To round up this podcast, I do have a little bit of design talk. I am coming out at the end of February, and last month, at the end of January, I released my Toasty Warm Leg Warmers, which was the first pattern in this 5x5 stitch challenge I am doing for myself this year. The 5x5 stitch challenge is something I am doing to make myself learn more crochet stitches, because as a knitter, I know a lot of stitch patterns I can just insert anywhere, and as a crocheter, I don't. So I'm kind of pushing my crochet limits this year. And the first stitch pattern was the waffle stitch pattern, and its accompanying pattern, the Toasty Warm Leg Warmers. This month is the quick shell stitch pattern, and its accompanying pattern is a fun hat pattern called Quickly Now. And this is what the stitch pattern looks like. Give you a little sneak peek. It's coming out, by the time you're seeing this podcast, it will come out this Tuesday. Coming Tuesday. I don't know when you're going to see this. I don't know the dates. Like I said, time does not exist, but it'll be on the screen. And this is the stitch pattern. Quick shells, super fun. And this is the hat pattern. Look how pretty. I love it so much. And the hat will come with 3 sizes. Here's the smallest size. And it's worked up in this fun multicolor yarn. So pretty, like a baby child size. And then this is the medium size, which will fit most people. And then the biggest size will be if you like a little bit of slouch. And yeah, it's just so great. I love it so much. So how this challenge works is I release a complete video tutorial walking you through how to work with shell stitch both flat and in the round. And on my blog will be free instructions, written instructions, so that you have something to refer to and you can follow along with the tutorial. And then there will also be this pattern, so you can take your knowledge of working up this stitch and apply it to an actual project, so that you can learn a new stitch pattern and expand your crochet skills. So if you're interested in joining this challenge, you can just, you can already find the first challenge, the waffle stitch pattern, here on YouTube, with links to everything, the written instructions, the pattern, the leg warmer pattern. And be sure to follow me here on YouTube, subscribe, and go to my Instagram, where I'm also sharing information about this challenge. Follow me there. And if you do your swatch, your project, or both, be sure to tag me in a post at the Freeform Knitter and use the hashtag 5x5 stitch challenge, so that I can see and we can, learn new stitches together, because that's really what this challenge is about, is learning new stitches. It's so amazing that we can use the same tools, string and hook, and make all these different stitch patterns using the stitches we use all the time: single crochet, double crochet, chain stitches, just in different combinations. That's so much fun, and I want to have that fun, share that fun with you, so we can become better stitchers together. Yeah, that's it. Oh, that's the spiel. So this will be coming out very soon. Keep an eye out. Like I said, subscribe here, follow me on Instagram, and yeah, learn new stitches together. That is everything for this podcast. I hope my rambling made sense. I appreciate so much you stopping by and crafting with me today. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe, follow me on Instagram, and if you could take a moment and comment down below something you are working on. I love hearing about what other people are working on. It gives me so much inspiration, and I hope you found some inspiration in this video hearing me talk about my crafts. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Happy crafting!